Alright everybody, welcome back to the KotLC Fanbase. My name is Austin and today we're going to be doing another KotLC tier ranking, and today we're going to be tier ranking the KotLC books all the way through the whole entire series from book 1 to all the way to book 8.5. So I'm super excited to tier rank these books. I always love doing these ranking series. I'm sure you guys have seen all my ranking videos in the past. I have a whole playlist if you guys want to check that out. But before we get into this video, make sure to drop a like down below if you guys enjoy the tier ranking videos or any ranking videos in general, because me, Troy, and Joey love to make these tier ranking videos. And if you guys want to see some more, make sure to drop a like down below. Also, comment down below what is your favorite KotLC book and what is your least favorite KotLC book. And lastly guys, make sure to subscribe down below. We're trying to hit to 11,000 subscribers and we would love if you guys could help us out. And yeah, that is it for the intro. I guess let's get straight into the tier ranking. So basically I have here on my phone the little tier ranking here, and it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers of KotLC ranks where we can put the books in. I guess since everything's explained, we just start putting them in. So I guess the first one we have is KotLC book 1. I think I'm going to be doing this in chronological order. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention the link to this is down in the description, so make sure to go check that out. Alright, so where do you guys think I'm going to be putting KotLC book 1? Because this is definitely a very good book. I have so many positives in it. I mean, the only negative I could think is maybe, I mean, really right now I can't even think of any negatives of that book. It's such a good book. It kept me going. It was the book that got me into KotLC. I mean, I definitely think it's riveting. I mean, I'm going to put in riveting. It is definitely easily the best book in this entire KotLC series. I mean, it had so much great content, like no filler content. We met all the characters. We got to see the Elven world the first time. We got to see Foxfire, which I really want Foxfire there to be more of in the series, but I think that Shannon's kind of straying away from Foxfire, especially because we're probably going to be hunting for Sophie and we're probably not going to be able to see that much Foxfire in the future. So I'm definitely a little bit sad about that. You know, if I want something really bad like that was from book 1, it definitely should be in riveting. So that's why I'm going to put in KotLC book 1 riveting. You can't tell me otherwise. Let's get on to the next one, Exile. Exile was a really good second book. Like, it had a really good start off to the book, you know, with the new introduction of Sylvanie, and where Sophie, you know, actually gets to know Keith more and gets to know about the Black Swan and gets to meet Mr. Forkle. So there's definitely a lot more introductory stuff. But it did, again, like I said, it strayed away from my favorite part of the series, which is Foxfire. So I definitely have to put it lower than KotLC book 1. But we gotta meet new characters. We gotta understand a little bit more about the KotLC life. So I'm gonna be putting this as enjoyable. I think that is a very fair assumption. Now I know a perfect candidate for Matt. The next one we'll have, which is KotLC Everblaze. Everblaze was very middle tier. Everblaze is probably like one of the most books that I kind of just forget about. Like, there wasn't that much in it. There wasn't much content in it. Like, I know that has more content than some of the books like Unlock. There is really not that much content, or Flashback, some of these later books that we had, but it just doesn't really ring any bells to put it in like enjoyable. Even it's probably lower than enjoyable for me. I think that I am going to be putting Everblaze in Mab, because I mean, even though it did have a good plot, like we kind of learned more about, you know, Grady and Adeline's background and Brant and all of that, and we got to see Grady use his ability. I think that there just wasn't that much stuff going on. I think that's why I'm gonna have to put that in meh. So third book, Everblaze, in meh. Alright, so let's get into book number 4, which is Neverseen, which is a very good book, and I'll tell you why. We get to meet, you know, Tam and Lynn, exiled. I mean, there's so much plot in this book. I could list 1,000 things. I mean, even like just showing the cover where Lynn just flooded the Ravagog or whatever it's called. Like, there was so much stuff in book 4 that like I'm gonna be putting it in riveting. I really loved, you know, Neverseen, where they train their abilities, the treehouse slumber party, or the window slumber parties, or whatever those were called, and we got to see some cool stories. Neverseen is really good. All right, next book we're going to go on to Lodestar. So Lodestar was definitely a good book. We got to see a little bit more of Wiley here, and that was pretty fun. And it also kind of showed a little bit more, you know, a little bit more investigation and kind of finding out what the Neverseen's doing. Kind of started like that arc where, like, you know, the whole Black Swan, they're like really, you know, they're back into the Elven world, they're kind of doing stuff with the council as well. And of course, if it's a book without the love triangle, then I'm definitely gonna say it's at least meh. But I don't know if it was enjoyable. It wasn't like that relatable to me, because like I know like most of the plots for other books, but this one I'm not as like remembering. It doesn't stand out like KotLC or Neverseen. So I'm just gonna be putting Lodestar in meh for now, but you could make an argument for it to be enjoyable, but I'm going to put it in meh. Now, Nightfall is a very controversial one for me, because, you know, you know, trust me, Nightfall was a good book, but the tone and mood for me was just kind of off for like a KOTLC book. It's supposed to be hopeful, it's supposed to be investigative towards the Neverseen, and this one was just all off. Like, it just had a different mood for me, and I'm gonna have to say it was boring because I just felt kind of like sad. Like, I don't want to feel sad when I read a book. Like, it was really sad, like with like Sophie's parents being, you know, taken by the Neverseen and all this Alvar drama. Like, it was just really sad. So I don't know, I don't like all that evil and the sad stuff. Like, I don't know, I like to read happy books, so I'm just gonna be putting in boring. But I know you could make the case it was a really good book and had a good plot, but it was just a little bit too depressing for me, so I'm gonna put it in boring. Now, okay, we're on to flashback. I think we all know where this goes. 400 pages of Healing Center, because that's literally just the exact definition, because we had so much filler content with all the, you know, Sophie has to stay in the Healing Center with Fitz, and it's, you know, warming up the love triangle and stuff, and then you know, obviously the unmatchable, you know, cliffhanger. So it was just so much filler content. Like, I want to see the battle between the Black Swan and Neverseen. I don't want all this love triangle filler content, so I'm gonna say 400 pages of Healing Center. But yeah, let's get on to Legacy. Alright, so Legacy was also it was actually a really good book. Actually, I think this might be a top 3 book for me. I think this is probably going in enjoyable for me, because even though there's a little bit of love triangle in there, I mean, it ended like, you know, Sophie and Fitz broke up anyway, so at least it wasn't, you know, too big of a deal. But, you know, it was off to a slow start, Legacy. But I thought the whole thing with Tam being in the Neverseen and Glimmer, like, I was kind of sad by that. But the huge battle at the end, it proved me wrong. Like, it was such a good battle scene. I think it was the best battle scene in this entire series, the one in Legacy. And there was just a lot of content in Legacy, and I'm gonna put it in enjoyable, because not in front of Exile, but it was probably my top 3 or 4th book in this series. So I'm definitely going to put it there. But now we're on to the last book, KotLC Unlocked. I have a weird opinion on this. I didn't like Unlocked, because I don't really know what Shannon was thinking about this whole Unlocked series guide. I don't think anyone really asked for it. I mean, we have the KotLC Wikia if we really want to look at that information. I mean, it had cool art, and it's always cool to visualize like what KotLC characters actually look like. But if you really think about it, no one really asked for the series guide. I would rather a whole like 800-page book than, you know, whatever, you know, the little novella we had in Unlocked. So I think it's gonna go in the bottom tier, you know. I mean, okay, it was better than Flashback. Let's just say it. Let's be honest. Like, it was better than Flashback, but come on, Shannon, you had to like do a little bit more for that. I was a little bit disappointed about KotLC Unlocked, which is why I'm actually pretty excited for this next book, because it's gonna be a full book. You know, I did like the KotLC, like the Keith point of view, but it was just too short. Honestly, I wanted more KotLC. But as you guys can see, final rankings: riveting, KotLC and Neverseen; enjoyable, Exile and Legacy; meh, Everblaze and Lodestar; boring, Nightfall, KotLC Unlocked, and Flashback in Healing Center in the bottom tier. Alright, so guys, did you guys agree with me on most of these picks? I tried to do, you know, the most reasonable things, so let me know down below in the comments. Do you agree with me with my KotLC tier ranking? Also, make sure to drop a like down below if you guys want to see more tier ranking, because I love to make it, and subscribe down below, because we're trying to get to 11,000 subscribers, and we know that only like 25% of you guys are subscribed, so we know 75% of you guys out there are not subscribed, so that'll help us out a lot. But yeah, guys, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.